Olá, hello a todos. Welcome to another podcast.
Sim, bem-vindos.
Oh, Marlon, welcoming everyone.
Tinha que ser um bocadinho mais...
Yeah, sociable, nicer, pleasant, hospitable,
Right. Okay.
whatever. Yes, welcome to another podcast. Podcast 42. 42. And we have a full studio actually at the moment. You might hear a few noises here and there. You'll understand why at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
And that's because we have a guest today and her children are here. So, yeah.
Okay, before we get to our guest though, Carla, podcast 42, that means for all the games and of course the transcript, the dialogue, the PDF version of the dialogue, everything at ptwithcarla.com/podcast42. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. So as I was saying earlier, we have a special guest from Guinea. And this is Jerusa. So you'll hear a slight accent. This should be interesting. Jerusa, como estás? Tudo bem?
Bem, obrigada.
Yeah. Obrigada pela tua ajuda, pela tua participação. Como é que te sentes?
Eu. Tímida, né?
Tímida? Vai correr tudo bem. Então, Jerusa is going to play a hairdresser for us today. And we have three parts to this scene, really. So it will be podcast 42, 43 and 44. And this is 42, as I've mentioned. And shall we go straight into the scene? Vamos começar? Ok? Então, bora lá. Boa tarde.
Boa tarde, diga se faz favor.
É por marcação ou pode atender já?
O que é que quer fazer?
Pintar, cortar as pontas e secar.
Então, para isso, hoje já não tem hipótese. Mas, se quiser vir amanhã, quando é que lhe dá jeito? De manhã ou à tarde?
Prefiro de manhã.
Deixa-me só ver na agenda. Então, às 10 está bom para si?
Ótimo.
Fica em que nome?
Susana Teixeira.
Está bem. Está marcado. Até amanhã.
Obrigada, até amanhã. Então pronto, olha, muito obrigada pela tua ajuda.
De nada.
Yeah. Foi excelente, gostei muito do sotaque. E depois talvez uma próxima vez possas usar outra ajuda, pode ser?
Pode ser.
Ok, obrigada então. Tchau, vamos dizer tchau aos meninos. Tchau, Davi.
Tchau!
Tchau, Esther.
I see you another day.
Okay.
Tchau.
E o Epifânio.
Tchau.
Yeah, right. So these kids are so great, aren't they? They're just gorgeous. You could eat them. That's what the English say. It's not a literal thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's what, 3?
If you say that in Portuguese, vamos comer os putos.
No,
That
would be just totally wrong. But yeah, the little girl is 3, the boy is 5, and Epifanio, the older one, is 14. So yeah, you could imagine how it was crazy here on the studio.
Black kids running
There's a
around.
lot of editing because they
lot
just
of
get
editing.
messing about with the microphone.
I think we had probably like three recordings of the same scene, and so what you heard was just bits of all the scenes. But anyway,
it was fun, though.
It's all done.
Yeah.
Shall we do the translation?
The translation,
Carla?
yes, let's.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How may I help?
Is it by appointment only, or can you see me now?
What would you like to have done?
I'd like to colour my hair and trim the ends and dry.
Well, for that, then today it's not going to be possible. But if you'd like to come back tomorrow, when would it be best? Morning or afternoon?
I prefer morning.
Let me just look at my diary. About 10. Is that good for you?
Great.
And what name?
Susana Teixeira.
Okay, it's booked. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay, so you get the idea.
Yeah.
Right, let's break this down. Let's get straight into this. Boa tarde. You guys, you
I have
all
no idea
know,
what that
surely. Boa tarde. Boa tarde. Good afternoon for anyone who's listening to this for the first time and has no knowledge of Portuguese at all whatsoever. Boa tarde is good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good. Boa tarde.
Very good.
The E almost pretty much gets dropped off. Just tarde.
If it's in Alentejo,
Boa tarde.
yeah, The E sounds more
I
like
can
an
say
I.
that with a bit of
Freedom. So
freedom of
freeness
speech,
of
because I did
speech
live
or-
there for years.
Yeah.
A few years.
Grandpa and grandparents.
Yeah, my
from
dad's side
Alentejo.
is from Alentejo. Which, by the way, Alentejo, which if you've been to Portugal, most likely you've been to Algarve, which is right at the south, that strip at the south of Portugal. Alentejo is above that, between...
It's the region between Lisbon and
yeah.
the Algarve.
And when you think about it, Alentejo goes not over, but it's beyond
Beyond Tejo,
Tejo, which
the
is
river Tejo.
the river that goes through Lisbon.
There you are. Very
Anyway.
interesting there.
Diga-se faz favor. That's what she said, diga-se faz favor. Even though you see there, diga-se faz favor. But that's how we Portuguese natives do. Even though, again, as we said, she's from Guinea.
Yeah.
But
She lived in Portugal for many years.
many years.
So.
And African Portuguese is always much closer to European Portuguese than what it is to Brazilian Portuguese.
Okay.
Favor. So repeat these after me. Favor. Se faz favor. I'm pronouncing it the colloquial way. Se faz favor. Imagine an X there. Se faz favor. Se faz favor is the official way. Diga. Diga se faz favor. Boa tarde. Boa tarde. Boa tarde. Diga se faz favor. Ok, Carla?
Ok. É por marcação ou pode atender já? Is by appointment or can you answer or see me now? So atender is what somebody in a shop would do. They serve you, they see you, so eles atendem-nos. Or when you answer the phone, we also use that verb, atender. It wouldn't be the verb that we would literally translate from answer in the case of answering the phone. Right, okay, hope I'm not confusing you, but yes.
Also, just confuse people a little bit more.
Okay, great.
Well, no, I don't want to. Appointment is the English for marcação. There is apontamento, but that's a false friend, okay? You would not say apontamento for appointment, not normally. Apontamento we refer
Taking
to more as a
notes.
note, taking notes. Eu tenho apontamento. I have got a note on something, right? Not a diary, a time-related appointment.
Although I've heard a lot of Portuguese people over here
Who
say
live
it because,
Yeah,
That's
but it
it.
is a false friend. It's not accurate.
Okay, great. So, marcação é por marcação. É por marcação. Marcação. Notice how the CA, the first CA has that hard sound K, and then the second one, CA, soft. And if you're looking at a transcript, you'll see that there's a little thingy right underneath the C, which we call cedilha. And that makes the sound of the C soft, like an S. S. Marcação. Not marcacão, not marcação, not marcacão, but marcação. And again, marcação. Say it with me. Marcação. Muito bem. É
Putting people
por...
to sleep, Carla. Marcação.
Not.
No, you
How
know,
dare
I
you?
can imagine those. I don't mean it's boring. I mean it's like those tapes that people put in their ears when you're going to marcação.
Very soft.
Yeah.
Ok, right, so é por marcação. É por marcação ou pode atender já? Ou pode atender já? Atender já. Ok, mais uma vez, once again, é por marcação ou pode atender já? You know, I find this a mouthful. É por marcação. The R from the por and then marcação. It really throws me a little bit for some reason. I want to say por marcação, but please don't. Okay, don't follow my lead here. Just do por marcação. Beautiful.
Very good. And so in my case, não podemos falar inglês agora.
Só português é permitido neste estúdio durante
Os próximos minutos.
tempo
O que é que
indefinido.
quer fazer? O que é que quer fazer. Na realidade, nós não dizemos isto, dizemos o que é que quer fazer.
Ou o que é que quer fazer.
Dizemos a mesma coisa.
O que é que quer fazer? O que é que quer fazer?
Ok. Fazer. Fazer é um verbo, significa fazer uma ação
fazer.
qualquer, não é?
Sim, praticar alguma
Neste
coisa.
caso é o que é que a senhora quer que nós façamos ao seu cabelo, não é?
O que é que deseja?
O que é que deseja? Qual é o trabalho que quer que a gente faça?
Porquê é que entrou aqui no cabeleireiro?
Pois, exato.
Com que objetivo?
O objetivo fica mais bonita,
Pois,
não é?
mais bonita. Não é ficar bonita, é ficar mais bonita. Muito bem.
É uma dica para mim. Bom,
Sim.
fazer. Quer fazer. Quer fazer. O que é que? Ou então, o que é que? O que é que? O que é que quer fazer? E de novo, o que é que quer fazer? Pronto.
It wouldn't be wrong to miss out.
Estás a falar inglês, mulher.
Então, é possível nós dizermos o que quer fazer e ignorar é que, ok? Ambas as formas, ou as duas formas, estão completamente corretas.
Dizer apenas o que quer fazer.
O que quer fazer. Yeah. E
É mais
ignorar-
brasileiro, mas também isso houve no português.
Não, eu acho que é mais formal até. Só que nós temos esta tendência, não é? Quando falamos com uma naturalidade, gostamos de adicionar este ek. O que é que quer fazer? O que quer fazer ou o que deseja não tem nada a ver com o brasileiro, desculpa lá. Não é? Não é? É talvez um pouco mais formal.
So what I was saying there is that sometimes, Carla was saying you can drop the second k and even the ek.
The verb ek.
I was saying in Brazil they do that a lot, and Carla was arguing that we do that also in Portuguese quite a bit if it's more formal, which is true.
Yeah, o que quer fazer.
Okay.
Okay, so either way is perfect Portuguese, okay? But just be aware that we do tend to throw this ek in our questions
When
a
you're
lot.
teaching grammar to your students, I mean on your one-to-one lessons, do you go through like the more formal, the informal stuff? So they know?
Yeah, I'll mention. Yeah, I don't like to mention it all the time, but it depends on each student. I know why they're learning, their reason for learning. So if they're learning for they're going to use it in a more formal setting.
I guess you need to personalize
Then I
it,
focus
yeah.
more in a formal way, and so on.
Anyway, is it my turn?
So no, it's
your
mine.
turn.
So I want to say what I want to do. So pintar is to paint or color or dye your hair. So that's the same word.
I make that mistake all the time. I said
Pintar.
my wife went and painted her hair.
Yeah, no, I used to say that, but I quickly learned it. Pintar, cortar as pontas is to cut the ends, literally. So trim, have a trim. E secar, which is to dry. Could be blow dry. It could be now I forget the word in English, but just I want to say stretch because it's the same word in Portuguese, but no.
Esticar.
Esticar, yes, to straighten
right,
your
to
hair.
straighten your hair.
So a lot of the time, what the Portuguese hairdressers do, they do straighten your hair. Especially mine is very curly, and
No.
when I ask them to dry, they don't assume blow dry. They tend to actually straighten it, although they do tend to. But
wonder why they never
but lately,
assumed that
I've
with
been
me.
doing blow dry. Well, you don't have much hair going on there.
I'll have you know I used to have curly hair.
You used
Back
to,
in the
very
day.
nice, but that was back in the day.
Back in the day.
It's all gone. All right, so pintar, cortar, e secar. So going over the line, pintar, cortar, as pontas, cortar as pontas e secar. Pintar, cortar as pontas e secar. Ok, Marlon, tua vez. Are you ready?
Então, sendo assim, a senhora empregada, né?
Cabeleireira.
The hairdresser, or we don't know actually, because she's not going to be the one cutting your hair. next episode, right?
No, she won't be available.
So maybe she was just...
That's why we said goodbye to Jerusa, because usually when we do this, a scene that is divided or parted into... Can I say that? Anyway, divided into 3 or more or less, we tend to keep the same personality. But in this case, she's visiting us. She was visiting us today.
Took the opportunity.
Yes.
So she says, well, then for that, as in for all of that you're asking, today is not going to be possible. No iPods. There's no
chance.
There's no chance. I wonder if that iPods comes from the same, must be from same root word of the English hypothesis.
Yeah.
So there's no way. Hypothesis is an idea, a proposal, but here it is, there's no hypothesis, I guess.
Yeah, there's no possibility.
Mas se quiser vir amanhã, but if you want to come tomorrow, then what's best for you? It's an interesting expression there. I'll talk about that in a second. Morning or afternoon. Okay, so, então para isso, hoje não tenho hipótese. Hipótese. Não tenho. I have no. Não tenho. Não tenho hipótese. Hoje já não tenho hipótese.
Funny that hipótese, isn't it? I mean, hipótese. Sometimes it might sound like we're pronouncing it as a hard S, hipótese. It's just so close, the sound.
When I
there,
pronounce it,
isn't
it sounds like I'm saying hipot, and then after the T, there's just a Z. Hipótese.
But I think sometimes a lot of people tend to pronounce it just as hipótese. But it should be more like of a Z sound, really.
Hoje já não tenho hipótese. Para isso, então para isso, so, for that, então para isso, hoje já não tenho hipótese. And then she says, but if you want to come tomorrow, mas se quiser vir amanhã, amanhã. Se quiser vir amanhã, if this was a friend, she would say, se quiseres vir amanhã. But it's formal. Se quiser vir amanhã, mas se quiser vir amanhã, and then a question. Quando é que lhe dá mais jeito? This is an expression that is used quite a bit. Dar jeito. Jeito can also be translated as a way of doing something. Jeito.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes a mannerism. Quando é que lhe dá mais jeito? Or in this case, quando é que lhe dá jeito? So when is it convenient for you? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Dar jeito.
So you could use that when you say, dá-me jeito, or I prefer, you can say that I prefer doing this rather than the other.
I prefer, yeah.
Quando é que lhe dá jeito? Quando é que lhe dá jeito? Slowly. Quando é que lhe dá jeito? Quando é que lhe dá jeito? De manhã? Ou à tarde? She could have also said ou de tarde. I think that's originally what we had.
De manhã ou de tarde?
Yeah.
Dá-lhe jeito de tarde ou de manhã?
But she said de manhã ou à tarde.
Yeah, but in Portuguese when you say in the morning, in the afternoon, and then at night or in the evening, you would say de manhã, à tarde, à noite. We shouldn't say de tarde and de noite.
I think originally we might have had that, but she
when you mean it
when we
in
were
the
writing
afternoon.
it. But naturally, she did say
as it
manhã ou
was.
tarde.
Yeah,
I think
à
she
tarde.
even ate the A little bit. But anyway. So the whole sentence, the last sentence. Quando é que lhe dá jeito? De manhã ou à tarde? So one final time, we'll do the whole thing, but now I want you to do it along with me. So it becomes a
Shadowing exercise.
exercise. In 3, 2, 1. Então, para isso, hoje já não tenho hipótese. Mas se quiser vir amanhã, quando é que lhe dá jeito? De manhã ou à tarde?
I prefer in the morning. Prefiro de manhã. Prefiro de manhã. Prefiro de manhã. Okay, manhã, amanhã, manhã without M-A-N-H-A. Manhã, morning. Amanhã, tomorrow. A-M-A-N-H-A. Very similar. And not amanhã, not manhã, amanhã. Manhã.
Manhã.
Okay? There's a little accent over the last A, so you need to emphasize that last syllable. Okay, saying the line again. Prefiro de manhã. Prefiro de manhã. Prefiro de manhã.
Excellent. So she has a look at, did you like the little effect, Carla?
Yes, that
Looking
was lovely. Good job, mate.
See? Yeah, very nice. These things take time, woman.
And I
But
appreciate
they
it.
enrich the
Lovely.
podcast.
Okay.
At least I like it. Deixe-me só ver na agenda. Então às 10. Está bom para si? Let me look in my diary. Or in the diary in this case. What about 10? Is it good for you? Está bom para si? Para si?
Para
Está
si.
bom?
Para você. The Brazilians would tend to say para você. We would
Yeah.
say para si.
Yep.
Meaning for you,
But
formal.
you could say para você in Portuguese, European as well, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Está bom para si? Então às 10. Então às 10. Notice that então is such a useful word, even though it doesn't have to be there. But it's just easing. It's an easing word. She could easily have said às 10. Está bom para si? But it would be a bit more forceful. So she wants to be genteel. Então às 10. Então às 10, está bom para si? And the first one, deixe-me só ver na agenda. Agenda, diary. Agenda. There is a diário as well, but diário is often more connected with somebody writing a daily thing, diary.
But agenda
Is more appointment related.
Yeah, so you have your calendar
Your
there,
schedule.
and each day you write what your plans are for that day.
Okay. Só ver na agenda. Só ver na agenda. Na agenda is connected. Na agenda. Deixe-me só. Deixe-me só. Deixe-me só ver na agenda. And the whole sentence. Deixe-me só ver na agenda. Então às 10. Está bom para si?
Ótimo. And I think we have a P there that should no longer be there. It's now gone.
Blah, blah.
We don't pronounce it. We've never pronounced it, and that's why we've dropped it. Ótimo.
Yeah, but I get annoyed. Because sometimes
What's the matter?
It's like the word secção.
Yeah, well, in that case, it's different because we used to pronounce the C.
Yeah, well, that's true. But they've taken it off.
Yes, I know.
So it's
yeah.
only
I think it's to bring the languages closer together, isn't it? The Brazilian and the Portuguese. Well, it's still the same language, but yeah, but you know,
Okay.
tough.
Ótimo, that's true. So Carla, the P doesn't have to be there. I like it.
Okay.
Ótimo.
Fica em que nome? This is your line. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay. So fica em que nome? It stays in which name? Or, what she's saying is, what name should I write it down?
Will it stay on the appointment?
Under.
Yeah.
Name will it stay under? Hey, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Nome. Em que nome? In fact, she could have just said that, em que nome. But she also said, fica. Fica em que nome? Notice the fica, because you have a vowel that's similar sounding vowel in the next word. Em, em. So they both connect. Fica em que nome? Okay, so what would be a very long-winded pronunciation, fica em que nome, becomes fica em que nome. All right, Carla.
Okay, Susana Teixeira. Susana Teixeira.
And we picked that because it's a pretty common name.
Susana Teixeira.
Mm-hmm.
Ok, Marlon, bora lá.
Está bem. Is good.
Is well. Is good. Is okay. Yeah.
Está marcado. It's
Booked.
It's booked, yeah. Está marcado. Está marcado. Até amanhã. Até, notice, because it's tomorrow, it's amanhã, not manhã.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she could have said, and often they do, até amanhã de manhã.
Mm-hmm.
Até amanhã de manhã.
If it was see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, so the whole thing again. Está bem. Está marcado. Até amanhã.
Obrigada. Até amanhã. And do we have too much there? Até
What do you mean?
amanhã. Okay, you have an A there that shouldn't be there. So, obrigada.
I do.
Até amanhã. Very good. I think you can take it off. Maybe not from the video, but from the transcript on the
true.
website, it'll be off. Anyway, if you're listening to this and not looking at a transcript, ignore what we just said. Just say até amanhã. If you're looking at a transcript, ignore the A on it. If it's there, right in between
Indeed.
até and amanhã.
Indeed.
Okay? All good. All done. Até amanhã.
Good, yes. Carla, então, queríamos
Diga-me.
dizer às pessoas
Sim.
para irem ao nosso site no YouTube. YouTube.
Ao nosso canal.
Ao nosso canal, sim senhora.
YouTube.
Que é youtube.com/Portuguese with Carla.
Ok.
E então todos os vídeos estão lá.
Todos os vídeos a partir do podcast 8.
Assim. Depois também no iTunes. Se quiserem deixar uma crítica no iTunes, nós gostávamos muito. Porque nós gostamos muito quando as pessoas dizem coisas bonitas. Não é?
É verdade. Mas pronto, também se tiverem coisas feias para dizer, eu não gostava de ouvir, mas
a gente prefere as bonitas.
é verdade.
E vão ao nosso site, pt.withcarla.com/podcast 42 para terem o diálogo e também os exercícios no Quizlet.
Ok.
Ok? Carla, queres dizer mais alguma coisa?
Não, eu acho que aqui é tudo, não é?
Então vamos meter aqui a música.
Sim, para despedir. Pronto, adeus, adeusinho. Até à próxima.
Até à próxima.
Tchau.